welcome back to my channel. Let's make a vanilla cake for my husband's birthday. First try ever. Okay, so we start by sieving 2 cups of flour. Sieving it actually helps make your cake really soft. Thereafter we add 1 teaspoon of cream of tart, as you can see in the video. Then I went ahead and poured 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Now I'm about to break 5 jumbo eggs into a separate bowl. Next, I added 1 teaspoon of caramel essence, and then half a cup of oil. And then half a teaspoon of salt. Thereafter, I added 1 cup of sugar, white sugar. Then I used a hand whisk, electronic hand whisk, on high speed until the mixture turned pale and looking like custard. that's how it's supposed to look at the end of it. Now I'm adding the dry ingredients into the wet. Then gently mixing everything nicely. I was using a whisk, but you can actually just fold it slowly using a spatula or a wooden spoon. Just be super gentle, because if you over mix, then your cake is going to be dry and dense. Try and be a little more gentle than I was. I know it looks as though I was being rough, but I just wanted it to be thoroughly mixed together. After mixing everything together, then I add 1 cup of milk. I actually bought this cake pan on this very day, so he better feel special. Okay. So I also bought some baking sheets. I cut it according to the size of the bottom of the pan. So basically I flipped it over, put the baking sheet on top of it, and then cut it according to the size of the bottom of the pan, if that makes sense. Then I added my batter into the pan, so 2 cups for each layer. I wanted 3 layers, so I bought 1 pan, so I had to wait for each each layer to finish baking first, and then repeat the process 2 more times after, or basically 3 for the 3 layers, but yeah, I just mean twice after this first one. So what I'm doing now is basically should I say slamming the pan to the table. This is to release the bubbles from the batter so that your sponge doesn't come out with a lot of holes, which it still did, but I don't think it's a train smash really. So this is me now repeating the process, adding 2 cups of the batter into the pan for the second sponge. And voila, this, my dear friends, is what the end product looks like. I just want to take it out of the pan and show you what it looks like. Well, after figuring out my tripod, forgive the girl. I think I actually wasn't aware that the camera was rolling here, but I just decided to use the footage either way, and I didn't take it out. I didn't show you guys taking it out, which was the whole point of the video. But anyway, I think what I did is actually I stopped the camera rolling thinking I'm starting. So yeah, so these are the 3, I don't know where the other one is, but these are the 3 sponges. Immediately after taking them out of the pan, I let them sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. I think 3 will do, before wrapping them in clean wrap. This helps trap the moisture in the cake. I did this right before putting them into the freezer to freeze overnight. So I think the same thing is happening here. I was unaware that the camera is still rolling. Guning, forgive the girl. So these are the sponges. The next morning, I took them out the freezer and just let them thaw. I think that's the word. Basically defrost. I just put them out. I think it took about, I'm not really sure honestly, but it doesn't take time. I just checked on them. As you can see, I was actually feeling to check if they're fully defrosted in inverted commas. It happens really quickly, and the freezing doesn't affect the cake in any way. It won't come out soggy or anything. They just come out nice and soft and moist. So I was taking the baking sheet from underneath the sponges, about to assemble and decorate. So this is called simple syrup. It's basically sugar and water. So you take equal parts sugar to equal parts water, and then you put that in the microwave for about a minute or two, and then you let it cool, and then you sort of drench it onto the sponges. I saw people usually use the certain bottles that you can use, but I just used my brush, kitchen brush. The simple syrup is also a way of ensuring that your sponges are moist. I think I was scared to put a lot, but I wish I actually put more. So, sorry about that. So moving on, as you can see in the video, so what I didn't show is me making the icing. So I basically used half a cup of, no, actually 1 cup of whipping cream, and then I added caramel pudding, instant caramel pudding, the powder, and then I also added, I think, 2 spoons of mascarpone, and then a drop of the caramel essence, and then I added also, I think, 2 spoons of icing sugar, and then I whipped that together, and this is how that was actually the outcome. It tasted so delicious. Oh, listen, I'm super proud of myself. Literally, my icing tastes like the Woolies caramel swirl icing. It was gold. So I had forgotten to put the icing in between these 2 layers. Yeah, I was just using a spoon, but you need to actually use either a spatula or cake scraper. I was just winging it, okay? But you can use the correct items. I then added the 3rd layer. As you can see, I'm putting it upside down. This is to achieve a more flat top, but you can also put it the other way around and just cut a bit of the top and make the sponge flat. I didn't do this to any of the other layers, but if you want a perfectly straight balanced cake, cutting a bit of the top will help you achieve that. I also think it's better to add the simple syrup to the bottom of the cake because I think it absorbs it better that way. And obviously, if you're putting it to the top of the cake, the sponge, then if you cut the bit of the top off, then you'll also be able to seep in the simple syrup better. Or you can actually just make small holes around the sponge, and then it will better absorb that way. So this is me decorating the cake. Listen, so I did all of this, and then at some point I felt like it didn't look nice, so I scraped all of it off and started over. And after scraping it off, I also didn't like, well, the second time around my icing was not so firm, so I also didn't feel like it took the shape of the nozzle well, and then I scraped that off as well and put my icing into the fridge, and then did a totally different decoration thereafter. But honestly speaking, I enjoyed every single step of this. It was my first time, and I'm so proud of myself and proud of the outcome. It tasted amazing. Honestly, I do not want to lie to you guys. I just need to use more of the simple syrup to get a softer cake, basically. So I was just showing you guys as I was putting the icing into this, I'll say, gadget. It's like a piping container. Instead of using a piping bag, I saw this at the shop and I was like, I'd actually love to try this out. And it's really cute. I just didn't like the fact that it's kind of small, so I had to refill constantly. But besides that, I think it's a cute item to have for baking. I really liked it and I enjoyed using it. See, I had to refill again at that point. So this is after scraping it off for the second time. I actually put some icing on the top, which I think was important. Just a smooth layer, and then I decorated. That was the final product, and this was my husband cutting into his cake. It was such a proud moment for me. I do not want to lie. He bagged a loving wife. Okay, listen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and you learned a lot. See you next time.